everyone, I'm Jen from practicalbydefault.com and I am so excited that you are here today. Today I have a special Facebook Live for you today where I'm talking with Erin from Nourishing Your Homeschooler, and she's going to be answering some questions with us. She's going to join us in just a minute, so if you can hang on, I'm going to go ahead and add her in. Hey Amy, how are you? Just waiting to see, she doesn't seem to want to show up. Oh, so as soon as she comes on and says hello, we'll get her invited here. I'm very excited too, Amy. Amy Milsick was the interviewee last week, so we had a great chat. I hope you guys caught that. It was so much fun. And I learned that when your kids use your Wi-Fi, all you get is the black screen of death. Amy says my shirt is pretty. Thank you. I never buy white. A friend gave it to me because my water is all gross and disgusting, so I now wear it and then wash it at my mother's. Shh. Oh, there's Erin. All right. Let's see if we can get her invited. Now, let's see if I don't screw anything up. I am the worst person with technology. It's like, so thank you all of us for being so patient. Hi, Erin.
Ah, here I am.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad I'm here. How are you?
Good, good. I'm going to go ahead and share this into my Facebook group here. So if you can give me a minute. Amy's here. Who else is here? Can you guys say hello into the chat for us so we can see who's here?
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Amy.
There we go. So I see Amy. And I don't know who else is there. Anyway. All right, so I think I have that shared. I have never, ever shared a Facebook Live into my group before, so you can go ahead and mark that down. Hey, Rachel. It's good to see you. Thank you, Amy. She does look beautiful.
Amy.
So this is the cup I have with me today. It says, relaxation is an art. Practice, practice, practice. And I'm going to bet that Erin has coffee with her today, too. Do you have coffee with you today?
Coffee is life. Espresso Patronum. Harry Potter fan over here.
So before we get started, and Erin's going to introduce herself to you guys, I have a confession to make. Are you ready? I know you guys are sitting down. I know Erin's sitting down. I have never read the Harry Potter books.
I love you so much, Jen.
The thing, right?
We're going to talk about this.
We're
going to have an intervention.
So has anybody read those books that's in the chat? I know, Amy. Amy's like, what? Hi, Shauna.
Amy, we're going to have an intervention. Shauna!
It's good to see you. I know. I figured that would get a reaction out of you. It's like, she's going to be like, all right. So are they good, though? Are they really that good?
They are so good. Like, so good. The movies just don't do that. If you've seen the movies and you're like, yeah, it was a good movie. No. The books are so much better. Okay, my nose is coming out. Gryffindor.
I haven't seen the movies either. I know. It's always book, then the movie. It's always the book, then the movie. So
you've been holding out on me.
No movies.
Like, how have you not told me this?
Very carefully, actually.
Been holding back, I see.
I have.
Thank you, Shauna. The books are ridiculously good.
Well, yes, I'm being told that anyways. All right. Well, so many of you don't know who I am, so I'm going to introduce myself, then I'll get Erin to introduce herself. So I'm Jen from Practical by Default. I have practical solutions for working homeschool moms. So that's for those of you that are working and homeschooling and juggling the whole mom thing. And it can get overwhelming. So I help you deal with practical solutions. They're not cute, they're not pretty, but they work. And they're simple and boring, but that's beside the point. So Erin, do you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about you?
I am Erin from Nourishing My Scholar. I blog about homeschooling and life. And, you know, it's just about surviving, you know, at this point. Two very intense little ones that keep you on your toes, along with everything else that life throws at you all the time. And then coffee.
Lots of coffee. Lots and lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee. In a vat, right here is where I need it.
If only we could get like those injections, you know, hook me up.
But we also live on a little farm. It's more like a petting zoo, actually, because, you know, they're more like pets. You know, my chickens like to sit on my head and tell me about their day. Gabriel likes to hold his snake and play guitar. So it's not really, you know, we're working the farm like a Little House on the Prairie. It's more, hey, we need a miniature goat. Let's do it.
So what do you have for pets? Can I ask that? I know I didn't ask you if I could ask that, but I'm going to ask it anyway, and you can say no.
We have 5 cats, 2 dogs, a ball python, a tarantula, 2 hermit crabs, 2 miniature goats, 40 chickens, and a partridge in a pear tree.
I'd like to see them all but the snake and the spider. No. You did that to me. You put that on your Facebook page. This beautiful, I'm sure it was beautiful spider goes, and I almost threw my laptop across the room. Oh, I don't do spiders.
I don't either.
Really?
She's a pretty hip lady. Like, she's never given me any cause to freak out, but I kind of do anyway when she just looks in a general direction. So my son and I have this understanding: you keep the spider and the snake over there, and I'll stay over here, and we're good.
And you're good,
but don't move the couch again, because that's not cool.
No. Amy says, that's awesome. I want all of those animals. My 6-year-old's dream is to have a tarantula. Yeah, no. Amy, the answer is no. I want the goat. I keep saying to my husband, please, can we have a goat? And he's like, no. And I'm like, I live in the country. We have all this grass. But, yeah,
well,
someday.
We're hoping to have baby goats in the spring, so I could always ship you one.
International shipping on a goat. I bet that's not expensive.
Not at all.
Hey, Becky, I saw you pop up there. You gonna say hello? She's hiding. All right. Well, let's get down to business. So I have some questions that I was asked to ask working homeschool moms. Is that even a sentence? Ask. I don't know if that's a sentence. It is today.
It works for me.
Okay. So the first question was, tell us how you began your homeschooling adventure. So what made you start homeschooling?
Our son actually is the reason we started homeschooling. He is that square peg in a world of round holes. And he just doesn't fit into the mold of any type of system that a brick and mortar type school can give him. He just doesn't. So this was something that we had to talk about early on, even when he was 2 and 3, and just had to wing our way through it and find what worked for him. It's ever changing, ever evolving. We did unschooling for quite a few years, worked beautifully. But then once we moved from Atlanta to Eastern Tennessee in the country, with that change and with him getting a little bit older, and there's so many evolving pieces and parts. It's more of an eclectic, child-led homeschool system now. I mean, he still gives me his input. We still tumble down rabbit holes, whatever, you know, the kids are interested in. But there's just a little more structure now, and that's based on what he wants and, you know, state requirements and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, but he was our catalyst, and now our daughter is learning right along with him.
Yeah. So, Erin, can I ask you how old your kids are? Because I know not everybody knows.
Our son is 10, and our daughter is 4.
Okay. All right. So it's been a while since I've had those ages. I have 13 and 15. So I only have a few years left.
Well, I think 10 is technically now a tween, from what I hear. And that would make a lot of sense. Starting to get a little more of that attitude that I'm not familiar with. It's like, whoa, what is this? And that's what I've heard. It's the tween years starting to manifest.
Yay! Lots of coffee. Amy says she has a few square pegs too, so I'm guessing she understands. So Amy Milsick has 5 boys, so she's done age 10 a few times. So you might want to talk to her about it. Jackie says 10 is definitely where we started to getting the tween attitude. Her daughter is amazing, but yes, I agree. I think 10 and 11 was the hardest for both of mine, because it was like, you know, they wanted to make all these decisions, but they didn't have the knowledge to make the decision. So I would make a decision, they would balk me. Like, why? No. Argue. Oh, yeah, I don't want to do age 10 or 11 again. But have fun with that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Amy, what do I do with this?
I'll be like, oh, no. I'm a nice friend. Oops, not home. Okay, so well, you kind of already described your homeschooling style. So you said it's moved from an on-schooling to more of a structure. Do you feel like it's because both kids have gotten older, or you've started figuring out kind of what works?
It's that, again, the move, being in the city to now on a farm, there's more responsibilities. You know, every day there are chores that have to be done, and there's not a, oh, if you feel like it thing. The animals have to eat, they have to have water, or if we're hatching, the incubator has to be checked, things like that. But then also just the changes in like, now we have an umbrella school as opposed to back in Georgia we didn't. So there's just some slightly different requirements. And then with him being older, he's actually asked for certain things. He wanted a spelling curriculum this year because he feels like he needs to be better at it because he wants to write a book. So I'm like, okay, let's do spelling. Never done that before, okay. But things like that. But then there are still those afternoons where somebody discovers a book, and next thing we know, we have dived down into, you know, the history of ancient Egypt. And here I thought, oh, it was time for dinner, but no, we had to study mummies and hieroglyphs. Okay.
Okay.
So there's still even that child-led aspect for sure, and that's mostly what we do, but there are some requirements now to get through on top of it.
Yeah. So as much as you might not like age 10, the good thing is that I find as kids get older, they do start having more to say. Or, well, they've always had an opinion, but, you know, it's more based on knowing what they kind of like and what they don't like. And that was a massive help to me. Because sometimes you have these two things and you're like, to you, they both look good, but, you know, they know what works for them, or they have more interest in one than the other. And it's great because then it becomes teamwork more than...
Right.
Yeah.
And the kids do help me with deciding what do we want to do, what sort of books do we want to check out from the library, what do we want to study, is there anything of interest? And right now our son is obsessed with history, So we're diving down into the American history, and he's also obsessed with the World Wars. But anyway, he's a history buff. And then our daughter is obsessed with the ocean. So we've got a lot of different going on based on their interests. But it's fun. It really is fun.
Yeah. Are you learning a lot?
I think I'm learning more now than I ever learned in my own education, actually. This morning our daughter was telling me all about where gum comes from. I didn't know I needed to know that, but I do now.
I don't think I know where gum comes from. I'll have to talk to her. You'll have to get her to tell me. I chew gum a lot, so maybe I should know. Oh. Maybe I don't want to know. Okay, so I know, Erin, you use read alouds and games and hands-on activities, and if you know me, actually, I probably shouldn't tell you this. Never mind. I don't do read alouds.
I love you so much, Jen.
I hate read alouds. I hate them. And my kids don't like them either, so we're good. We do
okay. You gotta do what works for you and your kids.
Before I get booed off the screen, I do read aloud one thing to my kids every day. And it's like 10 minutes, and we all endure that 10 minute of reading, and then we say, okay, it's done. Because I do think it's beneficial. I do. I think it helps you with reading skills and stuff. But so we do it, it's done, we can move on with our lives. You're going to take my homeschooling card away, aren't you?
No. I am a firm believer in you got to do what works for you and for your kids, and not every kid and not every family. I have a creeper.
I see that. Hello.
Can you say hello? No.
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 She's so cute. Aww. There we go. Now you have an assistant.
I had actually bribed her with the promise of paint and glitter if she would let me do this video, because I'm not above bribing. Parenting's hard.
Hey.
But
she needed
apparently. Yeah. We'll do paint and glitter anyway.
Probably. Well, maybe she can help you tell us about these read alouds and games and hands-on activities. So how do you use these in your homeschool? Hi, Jade.
Well, depending on what the kids are interested in. Like right now, our son is reading a lot of the Who Was series, like Marco Polo, Sacagawea, a lot of the earlier in history or early American history even. And then we also use History Unboxed, which sends us a box of, like right now we're studying through them the Powhatan Native American tribe. So with that, the kids are doing lots of hands-on activities, like last week they were making beaded bracelets, similar to what the Powhatan tribe did. But sometimes we'll also incorporate recipes. I've got a fun book called Eat Your Way Through Your History Homework. And so last week they made Thanksgiving succotash. And, we talked about the history of Thanksgiving while they were cooking, and they had a blast. But when I can make it hands-on, they remember more, it sticks with them, and then they can just pull it out of their brains and, tell anybody they want about Thanksgiving. Whereas if it's just a dry textbook or worksheets, it's like pulling teeth. It just doesn't work for them. But then we also incorporate a lot of art. We do the talk pastels, and they have an American history pastel course that the kids love to do, where they're doing like the first American flag and different Revolutionary War type pictures with chalk pastels. And this one is my artist, so anything to do with art and being creative, she loves.
I think I saw a project that you posted. Oh, when I shared your link in the chat there. So if you guys are looking in the chat, you'll see a link to Erin's family. It's their favorite read-alouds. I think it's 35. So it's a list of 35 read-alouds that you can do with your kids. Oh, I know what I was just saying. So I was going through your Facebook page, which if you guys don't follow, you totally should. It's really a great page. It's probably one of my favorites. I don't follow a lot of pages because, well, I don't have time, but I always make time for Erin's. And she had these pictures that she was showing. And I was like, wow. And she's like, yeah, my daughter drew these. And I was like, what? They're really, really good. I mean, I can't draw stickman, so, you know, take that into consideration. But they were great. So you use that chalk pastels, right?
Mm-hmm. It's chalkpastels.com. You can go there, and they have different courses, different video courses, or they have free tutorials. Like during when we were reading Harry Potter, they actually had some free tutorials of different Harry Potter type art. So we incorporated that with our Harry Potter study, and it just incorporates, you know, a different hands-on activity for the kids.
Yeah. Hands-on really helps. Yeah. Okay, so that's the read-alouds and the hands-on. What about games? You don't use games in your homeschool, do you? I saw that tower of games, and I have a feeling that's a small sample.
We have a closet that is nothing but games, and we don't have an obsession.
No,
we don't.
No.
It's not hoarding if it's books or games.
That's right.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, whenever we do anything like with nature, we incorporate something like Hit the Habitat Trail. If it's our history, then games like Catan or Timeline are fun. But her favorite is Sleeping Queen. And I think our son's favorite is probably Castle Panic or Dixit. Those are, it's hard. There's so many favorites.
See, it's so funny because I love how all families are different. My kids, okay, well, there's an awful lot of confessing going around here. I'm not a game. I like games, but I don't want to. Okay, so the only game I grew up on with Monopoly. People. It's like hours and hours and hours, and it was always like fighting. So games are not like my favorites, but I'm leaning into them. So we have like 15, maybe 20 games that we love. That's it. But I find they're great ways to learn without like learning.
Well, they're definitely great for like our son who has a very perfectionist type streak to him. They've been really great because you've got to learn to win and lose with grace and dignity. You're not always going to win. So those are some of the teachings we get from the games that, you know, it's not just, oh, we played this board game, there's nothing really relevant. You were learning something. You were learning how to play cooperatively or how to lose. And for him, that was difficult, but it really, really helped. But the same could be said too of with his perfectionist streak, guitar. He has been taking guitar lessons, and I found that him learning an instrument has been super, super helpful with his perfectionism, because you're not perfect with an instrument right off the bat, or you're not perfect with a brand new song. You have to practice, and that's something that, you know, I'm really trying to teach him, is that it's okay to practice, and practice makes perfect, but you're not perfect right away, and it's okay to make mistakes. So the games and then also the music really help to drive that home. He's actually gotten a lot better.
Yeah. Thank you, Amy, for answering Jackie there. Jackie, I'm not sure if Erin has a link to the direct course. Erin, do you have a link, even an affiliate link you can share with Jackie there? She's looking for the I can't see just 1 second. She said, what was the link to the art thing, something pastels? So if you wanted to, I don't know if you can share that. Hi, Jade. You see eyes. How are you? So, Jackie, I think Erin's going to find that link for you. If not, she'll drop it in the comments later. I see Amy dropped in chalkpastels.com. So hopefully that helps. So games are huge. They really are a big help. So I'm glad that you have found something that works with your son. Now, I know he takes guitar. Does he take it through gentle guitar?
He does. Because he had such an intense aversion to doing anything and not doing it perfectly. We used gentle guitar because they worked so well with kids that were intense or perfectionists or had any type of just, may not do well in a setting where they're actually in a classroom or something. But they do it through Skype, and he's really done beautifully with it and has really made a lot of progress. I'm very pleased with them and how they're teaching him.
Mama,
Yes,
how did you get her on the phone?
magic.
Tell me.
Yeah, I knew Jackie. Jackie says that's so good to know regarding gentle guitar. We've been looking at them for a while for a guitar lesson.
Yeah, we started in April. I got 3 free lessons through the Homeschool Sisters podcast. So we got to try them out for free. And they were just so great that I was like, sign us up. And we've been going strong ever since. And he's doing amazing, to where he's even teaching his dad now how to play guitar. And he's telling his dad, you need to practice, and it's good, but it could be better, which I love. But it's a fantastic program. It really is. Inga, I think, is the one that created it, and she's his teacher. She's wonderful.
Good. That's so nice too when kids, I find, when you teach somebody else, that's kind of a thing that I use instead of testing my kids. I get them to teach me back what they learned. Because if you can teach it to somebody else, then you know it enough, right?
Then you know it. Exactly.
So that's really good. All right. So I know you have a petting zoo or farm. Do you feel like that benefits your kids in any way? Has that like helped them?
Oh, absolutely. We've had to go through everything from the egg of, a chicken, either a hen sitting and watching how long she has to sit, to actually hatching our own with incubators and raising them ourselves. We've done experiments with eggs and the consistency of, what's inside the egg, and if you in vinegar for so long, what happens to the inside. We've done some really cool experiments because we've got all these chickens. But our son also wants to raise silky chicks and then either show them or raise them and sell them. And so that's sort of an entrepreneurial outlet there that I think would be really good for him to learn, a little bit of a business side to it. But then there's also the aspect of when an animal gets sick and the vet has to come out. Our vet has been really great about the 1,000,001 questions that come out of these guys. They're very patient, which I really love. I mean, these kids are right in the middle of it, with to know what's this, what's that, what is that going to do, and being there. And so they just get a totally different experience here in the country with the farm animals than they ever did in Atlanta. Not that it's better or worse, it's just different.
It is different, yeah. Yeah, and kids ask all these questions, and I love it because sometimes as adults we stop asking those questions, right? So the kids ask us, and we're like, oh yeah, why does that happen? we start questioning things again. So it's kind of nice because then we start learning. And so I don't have this down, but when you described what you do, you missed out something. You left something out about ballet. So both of your kids are in ballet, right?
Yes, they are in ballet. I actually take ballet as well. And my husband has offered to help in any way he can to help support them, because they're not only in a ballet school that they go to several times a week, but they're also in a ballet theater, which is actually doing a big production at the local college in the winter. So they get a lot of social action there, and it also eats up a lot of our time because it's 3 or 4 days a week ballet is going on. There's either fundraisers or practices or rehearsals or something, and we're all a part of that, and it's really been fantastic. We've tried different extracurricular activities and outlets, from soccer to karate, which is great, to gymnastics, but ballet has been the best so far, and it's really it's been a magical experience since they've started. They love it, and they're growing from it. And I feel like a newborn giraffe trying to do some weird skip hop across the floor. It's just not pretty. But
it's beautiful. So, okay, so you're gonna share with us how, in theory, how you fit all of this, because you have your website, you have a petting zoo, which I would call a farm, but whatever. You homeschool 2 kids, you have ballet, and then you have like all your mom stuff. So that's like cooking and cleaning and shopping and errands and doctor's appointments and, all of that. How do you fit all those pieces in?
Honestly?
Yeah.
I don't. It is empirically impossible to do it all every single day. Now, I do a lot of scheduling because, there are certain deadlines that have to be met. I have my blog. I also do guest writing for other blogs. I have an interview this week with someone from a review company that, I have to be able to sit down with him and go over what we need to talk about. Ballet, I love you. There are some things that take precedence on certain days, and some things don't get done, like laundry. You may have 6 loads, and it's just going to stare at you, and you're going to be like, you know what? I name you Merle, and you're going to sit there until I eventually get to you, and it may be next week. So I don't feel like I have it all figured out. My bullet journal helps me a lot. I have to write things down. It's been the best scheduler for me so far, because I do better when I can write things down. I know other people prefer like online stuff, but I prefer the bullet journal. I have to schedule time, like in the morning before the kids get up. I schedule time at night when the kids go to bed. And then my husband's really good about giving me like Sundays or Saturdays, one or the other, that he takes the kids and goes, and I can focus on work for that day. So it's a balancing act. It's like a ballet, a dance of, it's kind of flows, it's back and forth, it ebbs, but you never have it all every single day,
Yeah.
I mean, some days you might, and then you're like a ninja, and you're awesome, and you feel like, you take on the world. But then there are other days when you wake up with a migraine, and you know what, we're going to eat cake for breakfast, and that's it, because adulting is hard that day.
Yeah. And you have to, did it take you time to get to that point? It took me a long time to get to that point where I was like, this is okay. It's okay to do nothing for this day.
It did, because on those days where I felt like I can't, but I still have to, it was exhausting. And, you know, we need breaks sometimes. You know?
I think Jade is saying, are you done yet? Oh, all right. So I have only one more question for you, and then I'm going to let you go. But
I will do my best.
Okay, if you could give a piece of advice to someone who was thinking about, so they're considering, they don't know, can I do this homeschooling and working and maybe having a farm, or they already have a petting zoo or whatever, and they're working and, you know, they're trying, they're thinking about it, what would you say to them if you could give them one piece of advice?
And they're thinking about homeschooling?
Yeah,
I would say that homeschool is not public school. Homeschool does not have to be 6 hours at a desk with worksheets, unless that works for you and your kids and your family. If it does, go for it.
Yeah.
But for the majority of us, I don't think it does. You know, all of our kids learn differently, and the beauty of homeschool is you can find how they learn, and then you can use that to help them to learn to their full potential. You can use their interests and their passions and really give them more depth and scope than they can get in a lot of other circumstances.
Yeah.
Definitely find what works for you and your kids. Find out how they learn. Do they need art and hands-on? Do they need more audio? Do they need... Some kids do well with the textbook. I don't have those kids, but, you know, it works for some people, and you got to find out what works. You got to be able to make those mistakes. I've made so many mistakes thinking, oh, you know, he loves history. A history textbook should be great. No, a history textbook was not great.
Yeah.
But history stories and hands-on activities, those are great.
Right. That's perfect. That's exactly what I would say, but not so wonderfully. So thank you. Erin, thank you so much for taking time out of your hectic, busy schedule to spend some time with us and answering our questions. Hi, Jade. It was great you could help out. She's hiding behind the book. So it's funny that
thank you so much for having me.
I forgot to share the last one, so I'm going to do that now. Erin has a really great resource for children who like math books. So these are, I believe these are books that your children picked, right?
They did. This was one instance where we went to the library and they discovered the math picture books, and we're like, oh, these are awesome. We need these. And I was like, okay. So we checked out all of the math picture books that the library had, and that was all they wanted to read all week long. And it was fantastic because they still reference the things they learned in those books. Like anytime our son sees a right angle, he's like, it's the nightly right, because the nightly right was in the circumference book. And that's when I'm like, okay, this works.
Yeah.
When you can pull up the information like that, you didn't learn it in a textbook, you learned it in a picture book.
Yeah.
But it works. It really does.
So that was a great moment. A great mommy homeschooling win.
It was.
Yeah, we all need those. All right, well, I'm going to let you go. Thank you again so much for joining me. And everybody here, I want to thank you guys for watching and hanging out with us. It was wonderful. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll hop on later and get back to you guys. See you, Jade.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, see you next time.
All right. Bye.